Hello and welcome to another edition of Cooking with your Chiro. I'm Dr. Ray Infante of Spine and Sport Annapolis, and today I'm going to answer the question as to what to do when you have leftover risotto. So let me show you. On today's episode, what I'm going to be showing you is how to make arancini. Arancini originate from Sicily. And the original form of arancini would actually contain a little bit of a tomato and beef mixture with maybe some peas in it. This, what I'm going to be making, is more of the Neapolitan version, known as a suppli, because it doesn't contain a tomato base, it's just a cheese mixture. The term arancini is the diminutive term for orange in Italian. The term orange in Italian is arancia. So arancini are little oranges, and that's what we're going to be making today. Alright, let's take a minute here and go through the ingredients and also the game plans of what we're going to be doing today. I've already made the risotto. This is actually a half portion of the recipe that I normally make. So when I put this at the end of the video, I'm going to give you the full portion of this. So I've got some leftover risotto. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a beaten egg, some Parmesan cheese, and some breadcrumbs. Obviously the egg is going to bind it. Now again, I'm going to only be using one egg because it's a half a recipe, but normally you would use two. So I'm going to get started with that. Okay, so let me take a minute to just explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing, show you the ingredients, and go through the game plan here. So the ingredients for making the suppli that I'm going to be making, or the arancini, is I'm going to be using some risotto, leftover risotto. I'm going to be using an egg, a beaten egg. I'm going to be using some Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to be using some Italian-style breadcrumbs. Alright, so let's quickly go through the ingredients and the game plan here today. What I've already done is I've already made the risotto. I made that a couple of days ago, which is nice about this recipe. And what I'm going to be adding to that is I'm going to be adding beaten eggs, I'm going to be adding some grated Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to be adding some Italian-style breadcrumbs. So that's what we're going to do, and it's a very, very simple recipe. Obviously the eggs are going to be the binder, and then the cheese and the breadcrumbs are going to give it some flavor and some texture. So let's get started. Egg, Parmesan cheese, and then some breadcrumbs. Simple as that. And then I'm just going to kind of work this together with my hands. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of get in here and I'm just going to kind of work this mixture. And just like that, it's done. So you see these little mozzarella pearls right here. So what we're going to be doing that is we're going to form like little golf ball size arancini, and what we're going to do is we're going to stuff the mozzarella inside that, and then we're going to roll that in breadcrumbs, and that's what we're going to be doing next. One of the things I like about making this dish, the arancini or suppli, is that you can make this in advance, and I love making this for around the holidays. It's a wonderful hors d'oeuvre. What you can do is you can make the risotto a few days in advance, 2 days in advance. You can even form the little golf balls and put them on a tray and put them in the refrigerator overnight. So like if it's like Thanksgiving, you want to do this Wednesday, then on Thanksgiving all you got to do is just roll them in the breadcrumbs and deep fry them. Or so it's a perfect antipasto before a big meal. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a hunk of the mixture here, form it into a little golf ball, make a little indentation in it, and then I'm going to take one of these little mozzarella pearls. There it goes in there. Roll in the breadcrumbs. And you put it on the tray. Okay, so what I've done here is I've already kind of formed all of the arancini slash suppli. I've added some canola oil to a electric skillet, and I'm just waiting for this now to come up to temperature, and then I'm just going to add them in and let them get nice and golden brown, and we're going to be good to go. Now, as I mentioned before, if you wanted to prepare this ahead of time, you would get to this stage but not roll it into breadcrumbs and just stick it in the refrigerator. Another tip that I want to give you is that if you decide that you want to make this, if you make the risotto and you want to make it that same day, you got to make sure that the risotto is cooled completely. You want it cold, because if it is warm and you try to form this, it's just going to fall apart. So don't do that. Make sure that it's really cooled down. So I always like to do it, leave it in the fridge a day before, and make sure that it's nice and cold before I start forming the actual arancini. Alright, so we're ready to get cooking here. I've got the chairman of the board playing in the background. I've taken some canola oil and I've heated that up. I think this old electric skillet only has 350 as a setting, so I have it at that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding the arancini to that. And even with the half batch of risotto, I still was able to make 15 arancini. So with a full batch, you're looking at 30 hors d'oeuvres right there. So this is something that you can get a lot of mileage out of. So we're just going to let that cook, let them brown up, and then we'll start pulling them out and draining them on some paper. Alright, so I flipped them now, and they're getting that nice brown color. A little dark in some spots, but I'm not a professional chef. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun. Alright, so they look like they're about ready, so I'm just going to scoop them out with my little basket strainer. They smell incredible. Alright, I didn't lose any. And there we have the arancini suppli. Alright, so the question was always whether I've cooked it long enough to melt the mozzarella. So I'm not sure, so we'll see. Not bad. Hot though. So when I make this dish, the suppli arancini, what I like to do is I usually like to have my Sunday gravy with it as well, to dip this in or pour on top of it. You could also do like a little bit of a pesto and dip that in it as well. So I hope you try this. If you like the video, give it a like on YouTube or subscribe to our channel. We've got lots of good stuff on there, exercises, the way we treat certain conditions, you name it, it's on there. So Hope you enjoyed, and buon appetito.